I feel a little odd getting in front of the camera for the first time in a while. Hello beautiful, what is up? Welcome to the channel. My name is Caitlin if you are new here. It's definitely been a little while since I've chatted with you guys and I want to chat a little bit about that. December was a really bad mental health month for me. I decided to take the entire month off and just focus on me, not stress about doing anything with the business, which involved things like YouTube videos, products, Instagram, really anything to do with Create with Kate. So that unfortunately came after I had a not so great November because at the beginning I was really sick. So the first couple of weeks of November, I didn't have any videos posted either. So things have been kind of all over the place. Now that it is January and I am taking these steps that I need to make sure that I'm in a healthy spot, both physically and mentally, emotionally, everythingly, I think I can actually start making videos again and posting them on YouTube. So this video is going to be for my December plan with me. I had this all recorded prior to me kind of getting in my funk, and I wanted to show you what I came up with because it is really good stuff. In my opinion, I really loved making this December plan with me, and I want to share those ideas with you guys as well. For the month of January, I've actually made it a little easier on myself for planning and, well, okay, I say easier, but I don't know. I'm about a week into January now filming this, and I think that it's gonna be easier. I decided to go with digital planning this month. I created a 2023 digital bullet journal and I love it. I love that it's all hyperlinked. I can easily have a page created for me in like 2 seconds flat. It's really nice. So I'm going to be doing that for the month of January and then doing more of a reflection of January month with you guys on YouTube at the beginning of February. With that being said, I want to be more accountable this month. And so if you go check out the community page, I'll have it linked above, below, somewhere. It's on my channel. If you click the community tab, that is where it's gonna be. I actually have a list of all of the videos and the days that I'm going to be posting in January, so you know what's coming up. I'm a little bit more held accountable, and everybody wins. Okay, so with that, let's hop on into my December plan with me. This month is the first month that I'm going to be using my sticker sheets in my planner for the entire theme basically. So here is just what I got. All of it's going to be found on my shop if you are interested in checking that out. But I'm gonna start off with the cover page. Here specifically, I'm gonna be focusing on the December trees, the blue winter wonderland trees as I think of. Usually I don't show this process in my plan with me videos, but I do think it's important because this is a plan with me and it's part of the planning. So usually I just take whatever paint, marker, any type of stationery supply that I'm going to be using and swatch everything. For paints in particular, I do like to mix up the different colors. And then once I'm satisfied with the color, I end up putting it on my page as a this plus this paint equals the color that I like, and then deep dive into actually painting everything out. I'm using a very similar method to my September plan with me when I did that lily pad theme with the dragonflies. I am starting from the back and building forward. Because I have trees overlapping one another, you'll see that I'm creating these weird triangle shapes, but it will all come together in the end, I promise. Now what I'm doing is coming in with a lighter color. All I did was find a base blue tone that I really liked and then lightened it up each time, adding in more white. I just take a little bit of that blue pigment and quite a bit of white for this last color here to create the 4 different blue shades that I have. Then I want to add a few little details to each of these trees to make sure they don't just look like triangles. And I'm coming in with my skinny 00 paint brush, and I'm going to be adding in these little textured lines. I am going really slow, pulling that paintbrush towards my body though, to make sure that those lines are as relatively straight as possible, and then putting small amounts of pressure to get super skinny lines on these smaller triangles. I am coming in adding little tree trunks with a brown color that I mixed up. For those of you who don't know, brown is simply all the primary colors mixed together. So blue, yellow, and red. And then you get this brownie color. I did add a little bit more red in mine because I wanted more of a red brown, but that is really it. Super simple gouache painting. If you are interested in starting gouache and a little nervous, this is a very beginner friendly paint idea. Now I'm kind of kicking myself in the face for doing this, and I was super frustrated and annoyed while going through it. You can't hear me complaining under my breath, but I added in this wash of gray and it kind of looked a little bit muddy, so I needed something to ground it at the bottom of my page, and hallelujah, this saved the day. The Archer and Olive black notepad paper. It's a dotted paper, so it makes it a lot easier to write things down. I added it into the page and it felt like the piece was coming together a little bit better, and I could have that moment behind the camera. I added in the title December here, just with some sticker paper and my calligraphy writing, and then I wanted to ground the piece just a little bit more as well, so I ended up creating a border. I did a very similar border in my sun and moon January theme that I did last year, and I absolutely loved the style, so I added it in here as well. Finally, just to add a little bit more of a wintry feel, I came in with a gray Tombow brush pen and added in the traditional little star or asterisk to create snowflakes. Next up, I'm going to be focusing on my monthly overview, specifically this little mini calendar first. I really wish that I ended up using these pages more than I ended up in December, but because of everything that was going on, it is looking a little bare now that the month is over, and I'm looking back and reflecting on what I could have done a little bit differently. Anyways, I did add in this calendar up at the top, basically just to use it for my reference and highlight in days when I'm maybe meeting family, I have an appointment, work schedule you could add in there as well. This one's just a little tiny for that in my opinion. But make a calendar that is going to fit your needs, and this one just fit mine for the month. Now I'm coming in with my washi tape, and I absolutely love this. The one thing that I wish that was a little different about painting is that it would go a little quicker, but obviously that doesn't necessarily make sense because painting takes time. It takes time to dry and come up with ideas and mix colors together. So this is my way around it. I am coming up with a design, creating a washi tape to go with it. It is going to make my monthly planning a lot easier and actually increase the chance that I'm going to use the sections and create new sections in my bullet journal. And that is what ended up happening in December when I did use my journal. The quicker it was for me to set up, the more likely that I was going to use that. So I am 10 out of 10 a huge fan of these washi tape strips, and I'm going to be coming out with them every time I do a physical plan with me. So stay tuned for February because I do actually have a little bit of behind the scenes going on for creating those washi tapes and of course my February plan with me. Then I finished off the little section here just with a quote saying let it snow and incorporated those little trees at the bottom to kind of ground in that section. On the left-hand side, I have my projects. How many projects did I get done, you may ask, during the month of December? I got one, actually. I did get one done. I got my 2023 digital planner all out and uploaded for purchase if people are interested. So ding, ding, I get one check mark off of my projects list. I did love the idea of this section, and I think I'm going to incorporate it in next month's planning, but over 2 spreads. Because looking back on it, I definitely would need a little bit more. For this little half section at the bottom, I came in with 2 different blue toned Tombow brush pens and came up with this neutral blue color in between for the section of idea, work in progress, and done. So all of the projects are going to go on a sticky note and then get moved throughout the section, idea, work in progress, done. Kind of like a Kanban board that I've chatted a bit about in productivity videos before in the past. Next up, I'm going to be creating a little Dutch door, and it's going to look like this once it's done so you can have a better visual while we're going through this. I'm creating a couple cuts and of course a little tab to make things easier to flip back and forth to on the right-hand side of the page. Once I flip things back and forth, you're going to be able to see that top section the entire time, but the numbers and days that I showed you earlier is going to be flipping. So this is going to be my social media planning. Things for TikTok, Instagram, my YouTube channel, and my shop. Now, we all know that that didn't work out for the month of January, but it's such a good idea spread-wise, so I did want to share this one. I think this is my favorite new spread that I've created for the month because I can go and quickly have a brain dump running list for each of the topics that I need to accomplish throughout the month. Plus, at the bottom, here what I'm going to be creating now is a mini calendar. This December has 31 days, so I did end up creating 15 boxes on the front of the Dutch door and 16 boxes on the back, just with the 16th empty box on the front with the name December. Does that make sense? It'll make sense in a second once you see fully everything filled in here. Here is where I'm going to schedule stuff into the calendar to have a more visual, more space in comparison to my monthly calendar that I created on the last page. And I'm using my weekly numbers to number them off 1 to 31. So when I flip the page now, you can see I don't no longer see the 1 to 15, but I now see 16 to 31. So it gives me enough space to kind of write out a few things on each of those topics. And I'm going to be using my social media icon stickers, which I did for the first little bit of the month, to show when I'm posting, when things are scheduled, and things like that. Now, using my thicker washi tape, I'm coming in and creating my income and expense trackers. Going into December, there's a lot of money usually leaving people's accounts, mine included. I am in that grouping of people who love to spend for the holidays, whether it be for an event, buying gifts for people, maybe even myself, because that kind of makes the list as well. I did want to keep track of my income and where my expenses were going. So I'm switching it up a little bit this month, and I created 6 boxes by 7, and then I'm going to add a value in the center and have a legend just at the bottom. I hadn't figured out exactly what I wanted to do at that point of recording the video, but what I ended up deciding is having the value of $50 and then 4 different patterns that would go in color in each of those boxes. The expense tracker here, I did have the question of what did you purchase? And this is more of a end of month type of reflection versus keeping track throughout the month. I have a really bad tendency to create expense trackers and never use them in the month. So to get around that, I'm only going to fill it out at the end of the month, which I actually did. And with that, I came up with some monthly reflection questions like, highlight the expenses that you don't think that you needed. Are you surprised by the results? And where do you go from here? All of those questions really just to help me break down my purchases, validate them, or really see that they weren't necessary. My personal favorite tracker is next, the reading one, and I absolutely have found a style that works for me, and I think I'm going to be sticking with it for the foreseeable future, particularly in this reading tracker. In the center here, I am coming up with a little design to match my theme, and so of course I'm coming in with a few trees, just within 3 of those colors instead. I think having 4 trees would have made it look too squishy, and I'm using the exact same techniques that I did on the cover page. Creating those triangles in those different shades and then adding some line work with either a darker or a lighter colored gouache paint. Be mindful though not to add too much water, otherwise the gouache paint underneath will lift and mix with the color that you have. So I have my habit tracker circle. This is so much easier than writing everything out and making sure that all of my lines are equal. No more. I'm making things simple for my life, simple for me, simple for you guys planning as well if this is a style you like. And I did end up coloring the center in black, but I didn't do it in this clip. I did it at the end when I was looking and kind of feeling like something was missing. On the right hand side is my fitness tracker. And I did this, I think in, what video was it? I think it was my Work Weeklies video, where I came up with the idea of creating more of a board game to make rewards fun once you've accomplished a certain task. I'm doing the same thing with fitness here, where I'm gonna come in with my Tombow brush pen and color in the task once I accomplish it. And then after so many tasks, I get a reward. I'm gonna have to figure out what those rewards are, but I did end up having a really fun time with this when I decided to fill it in. I did make my life a little easier by using some check boxes, but that's about it. I did want to use up the last little bit of my stickers that I ended up cutting out, and it fit perfectly. So 4 of the thicker sheets cut to the size that I had in my journal ended up making another entire banner for me to use, and that just made my life a lot easier because I didn't have to print something out again. And then I came in and I added in my weeks 1 to 4 for my memories page. I really like the idea and concept behind having the boxes specifically dedicated to have photos go in it afterwards, and I am really sucky at the follow through on printing out the photos, and I think next month I'm going to change that. I'm gonna be making things work for me in February and not feel guilty about filling things out in my bullet journal or not. Last up is my weekly tracker. Now I've divided the page into the left and right. On the left is more of an events appointment overview, and I'm coming in with my weekly stickers here for Monday to Sunday. Basically, all I'm gonna write down is things that are already pre-planned. I do like to have a spot where I can write something down that I know is coming up, but not necessarily have to have my weekly days already pre-planned and pre-sectioned out, because then I can dedicate the actual amount of space to the actual day, instead of having this big gap or running out of space by having pre-planned weeklies. So the right side, I have a running list, and then I'm going to be coming in with just Monday for now. After Monday is finished, the next day I am going to come in with Tuesday and so on and so forth. But just for the video, all you'll be seeing is Monday. Don't worry though, I do have a bullet journal flip through coming to you guys soon. As you can see on my community page, it'll be coming actually next week. But that is really it for this December plan with me. I hope that you found value in it. I know it's not December anymore, but I really did enjoy making this video, and I love that I got to share it with you. If you've watched up until this point of the video, make sure to put a little Christmas tree down below. I know the holidays are done, but we can still celebrate with a Christmas tree. Thank you for sticking around and for watching the entire video. If you're interested in more Plan With Me videos, I got them over there. And I will see you next week with another video. Bye!